How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for this video, we are converting this stock head unit, this HU850, which I don't think is very good at all because these knobs are all worn out. And I just want to upgrade this to a much more modern head unit that's much more usable, and I could also use the torque app on it. So with the magic of editing, we're converting this to this. I finally installed it, but I think I exposed myself to a lot more problems. I'll explain later. Here's everything you need to get your cheap Android tablet installed on your Volvo S60R. I got all of this from Amazon, and I think everything total with tax, $290. So I kind of split it up into all the different parts that I got. So here, over here, this is what you get in the Android tablet kit that I bought for $160. That is the Atoto A6. So you get the unit, you get this USB extension cord, so you could reroute this to somewhere inside the cabin. And then you have the wiring harness that is connected to this unit. And then you also have this Wi-Fi antenna, if you need Wi-Fi in your car, I guess. And then you also have the GPS unit. So I think this is just a cheapo GPS, so it's like 1 hertz, but not bad. I could preload offline maps on here, and I can find my way around with this GPS unit. Moving on, we have this wiring harness. This is a vehicle specific, so this is for the Volvo S60. This is fairly cheap. I think this is about $10. This is from Metra. And moving on, this is the steering wheel controls. This is made by Access Interface, or Access, but I'm not really sure how this is going to work out, but I'm going to wire this up later, and hopefully it works and can recognize all the steering wheel buttons. Moving on to here, this is a radio antenna. Again, this wasn't too expensive. This is vehicle specific. Again, this fits the Volvo models between 1999 and 2009. And then lastly, this is very important. This is an OBD2 diagnostic scanner. So I could just plug this in and communicate to this tablet, Bluetooth. I forgot to bring this out, but this is the faceplate for the radio. Unfortunately, you lose this storage compartment. This is also from Metra. They seem to be the only company that makes these, and to be honest with you, I feel like this is made fairly cheaply because this is the second one that I bought, because the first one, this clip broke during shipment, and so I requested another one, and lo and behold, the second one also broke in another location over here, but I don't think this is as critical, so I decided to keep this one. But yeah, just be careful when you are buying these faceplates because they seem kind of flimsy. The cool thing about this is I think that I could drill a hole here for a future boost gauge if I find that the boost gauge that I get from this unit and the OBD2 sensor or diagnostic scanner does not work well, so I could always put a physical boost gauge over here and wire it up the old-fashioned way. But this is everything that's needed to get this project started. So let's get to it. Let's start wiring up these harnesses. And to do that, I've also bought a couple of different tools. This is called a solder seal, but this is an easy way to solder your wires together. All this is some heat shrink tubing. It's got a low temperature solder inside, and these red bands or different color bands depending on the gauge wire, those are like a waterproof seal and an adhesive. So all of this is built in. It's nice. All you have to do is just put one wire in here and the other one in here, and then you just apply a heat gun and you get a soldered connection. So this is now the following week, and what I had found out was that I was sent the wrong wiring harness, because this HU850 unit only has one plug on it, and also a plug here for the speaker wires. And as you can see here, there's, just like it should be, there's only one plug, the green plug here. This is for the antenna, and this is the speaker wire. What I was actually sent were these wires. So as you can see, there's the green plug here, and this is the speaker wire plug. So apparently this is the wrong harness. So you got to be very careful when you're buying this, just to make sure that you do have the right application. And I think for Volvos, there's two different head units, which one would require this type and the other one would require this type of plug. So what I had gotten was, I had gotten this thing, which was, this is part of this Metra 79223 kit, and I think this is a different part number. So this is basically behaving like this guy. So as you can see, like all of these different color wires, the purple, the greens, whites, and grays, you could see it here. This is simply, they've already pre-wired it for you, and this is going to go to the back of the head unit. So just make sure you get the right harness. And while we're here, and we've got the two different head units out, so this is the stock one, this is the new one. Just take a look at how much smaller this is, because this doesn't play CDs, and who uses CDs anymore nowadays? But this is so much lighter, weight savings, and this is also a lot shorter. So I could kind of cram all these wiring harnesses just behind here. But yeah, so you know, big difference in size, so that's good. But a lot more functionality with this thing, so I'm glad. So now that we're a week later from the initial setup or the initial trial at this, let's take this apart and see if we could stuff this in here and turn it on. So before I stuff all of this in, I figure this is a good time to talk about what each wire does. Now, you know, this is by far not a very difficult process. If you're someone like Chad, this might be too cumbersome for you, but this is, again, very straightforward. And let me just kind of lay out what each of these wires do. So let me just kind of position the wire so that this end goes to the car and this end closer to me goes towards the head unit. So for the wiring harness here, you've got this is basically the power cable. You've got the red, which is the 12 volt positive. You've got the black, which is the chassis ground. You've got the yellow, which is battery, 12 volt. And then the blue is power antenna. So this goes into the green plug here. The rest is, this is the speaker wire set. So again, they sent me the wrong wiring harness. So instead of this, I need to use this. So again, this is the single DIN, or the DIN mount. So this goes into there. But this is basically all of the speaker wires, the left, right, front, rear. So as you can see, all of this kind of goes into these guys here, these ones here. So fairly straightforward. So again, this side goes to the car, this side goes to the head unit. And then what I have here, a set of extra wires here, which may look kind of cumbersome, but this is the steering wheel controls so that I could retain the use of these 4 buttons here. Not critical, and I'm not really sure whether this is going to work or not, but the way I've wired this up is that I need a, you know, like a power supply and also chassis ground. So I tap into the black and red wires coming from this green plug. So again, that should be fairly straightforward. And I also have, per the instructions, I have to tap into some pins on this connector. So I believe it's this yellowish white and green pins. I have to tap into that. So let's see how well I can tap into that. But basically all that's doing is that when I press these buttons, it's going to send a signal through this connector, and that signal is going to be more or less kind of like intercepted with this thing, and then this is going to send the signal to the head unit. That's my very rudimentary guess. I'm not an electrical engineer, so if you know what's going on in here, please let me know in the comments below. But so fairly straightforward, I think. The first step into plugging all of this in, I think, is after I've done all the wiring outside of this, of course, is to tap into the green plug for the steering wheel controls. So the two directions were to tap into, well, besides tapping into the black and red, the pink goes into pin 7, which is this yellowish white color wire, and then the blue and pink goes to pin 8, which is this green wire. Hard to see with all the glare here, unfortunately, but this does work.
Want a stronger
I can get radio. You know, there's just like an Android tablet here. There's like settings and stuff like that. I have Bluetooth connected to my OBD2 dongle thing so that I could go to the torque app, and then I can see a bunch of different real-time gauges. So you can see there. The glare is really bad, but so there you go. That works. That's pretty cool, and I could get real-time, you know, fault codes and everything like that. I could just do a scan, you know, given that I have power to the tablet and so forth. So, during the install of this, I found a bunch of other issues. First is that now I have an SRS airbag service urgent code. Before I connected everything up, there were a bunch of other issues where the speedometer doesn't even turn on. So I got really scared when I saw that, because the door locks, the power windows, nothing worked. And I did a quick search online. Some people may think that it's the DIM. I don't know, but please let me know. Maybe the start of a DIM failure, I'm not really sure. But if you guys know more, please let me know. But yeah, this has been kind of like a topsy-turvy kind of journey. But I finally got this in, and the steering wheel controls unfortunately does not work. That's something that I'm gonna have to figure out in the future. Don't know if I'm gonna bother with that, but I've got the GPS and also the Wi-Fi antenna kind of semi-discreetly popped in here. I could have gone a little bit further or routed it around, but the Wi-Fi antenna cable is actually relatively short, so I couldn't wire it all the way around. But basically, I snuck this through the fuse box and underneath the steering column, and then also to the side here and into the radio. So but yeah, everything's working. I'll do another video once I'm comfortable with this unit to talk about all the different features and everything. But you know, I do have radio, I have YouTube, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if you could see this or not. Nope. Oh yeah, you can. So I could just turn on the hotspot to my phone or whatever, but there it is. So I could watch YouTube in my Volvo S60R, so that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of other apps in here. I haven't gone through all of it. I can check my email, just like any other Android tablet. So pretty cool. I'm gonna have to set this up, but yeah, pretty satisfied with this install. Well, not really. I'm satisfied with this unit, but there's a bunch of other issues. Currently I hear like a whine. I don't know what whine that is, and it gets pretty annoying when I'm driving. So I don't know what the source of that is, but you could hear it right now. It's like, and I got a feeling it's maybe the alternator whine or something, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, gonna wrap it up right there. This has been, just like all the other projects involving this car, hasn't been straightforward at all. Whether I'm dealing with like rust issues when I'm doing mechanical stuff, and here there's like a lot of electrical gremlins, so I'm not sure what that sound is. I hope that it's not a big issue, but the SRS airbag service urgent thing got me pretty worried. So please let me know if you know what that's all about. Please leave it in the comments below so we could get a conversation going. But anyway, if you haven't checked out the hoodie that I'm wearing right now, this is the S60R design. This is the white logo. If you like this, please check out our teespring.com storefront, which is linked down below. Any piece of clothing that you buy, a little bit of it goes back into these project cars. So if you want to help us out and make this into a proper race car, you know, fix all of these electrical gremlins, then please give us some support by going to our Teespring account and then buying some shirts. If you want to support us another way, you could also become a patron in our Patreon page. So it's also linked down below. Again, any dollar that we raise through Patreon goes back into these project cars. We obviously can't do any of this without you guys. Anyway, if you found this video somewhat helpful, please give it a like down below, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime we make a new video on the S60R, on the C30, or the V70R. Also, anytime we review new cars, and also go to various driving events. So please check all the links down below. We really appreciate you watching all the way till the end. I'm gonna wrap it up right there. My name is Hanson. This has been the 2005 Volvo S60R stereo install, and I will see you next time.